June and July Texas Commission on the Arts grant projects that they have there as well. But, and also this time around, we're going to be talking about the kitchen table talks. So, or I'm sorry, the public art project. So we've got a bunch of decisions to make, but today what we're going to do is just basically get input, ideas, find out what y'all have to say, to think about, to go forward. We're going to put out a survey for our public art project. So tonight what we'll do is I've got on the agenda, got a couple of announcements. We'll do an update on the Richard Latham Cultural District activities. I'm not going to go too much into that. I'll kind of give you, if you have questions, I'll do that very briefly. If you have questions, we can talk about it afterwards. I'm going to switch one of the agenda items so that we do an update on the grants that we've received for the cultural district. And then we're going to do this Arts Bridging Culture, the ABC 2.0 project, which is this kitchen table talk, and a lot of input from y'all. And then you see we have a whole bunch of stuff on the wall. And so what I'd like you to do is, while we're talking about all of this stuff, is in your notes you see the ideas that were generated from all of our 8 kitchen table talks. And so if you see anything there that you especially like, you've got sticky notes. You can go ahead and write those down. If something else comes to mind that you don't see on that list, write that down. And then go ahead and when we're done with the first part of kind of talking about that part of the agenda, then I'm going to have you all put up your sticky notes wherever on all of these different papers under the different categories.
Do we want to give them a certain amount of time?
Not yet.
At this
Oh.
point?
No, we'll do that when we get there. We're not there yet.
Sorry, I didn't.
No, that's okay. And then, well, we'll come back, we'll talk again, we'll see who kind of like, we'll kind of look, we can look and see who put what up around here. Then we're gonna give you, we'll come back, we'll talk for a few minutes, then we're gonna give you 10 little dots, and we're gonna have you just mark down which ones that you think should be the top 10 list. And we'll at the end of tonight, then what we'll do is we'll gather the ones that got the most dots for the top 10. We'll turn that into a public survey. That'll go out to the community. And then from there, we're going to make a decision on what art projects are going to come through that program. So we're trying to make this as participatory as possible. When we have, one of the key elements of that program is that we want this to be art that people can come together and create together with the artist. So it's not like make a mural and give money to an artist and the artist makes the mural. Michael Hall is here tonight. He did one of these programs. He's in the back. And thank you very much, Michael. He's the artist who did Steam. You all know Steam from, it's on the railroad tracks. The fire department likes to call it the hot dog mural. But art's open for interpretation, right? And he was one of those programs. He came up with, in that project, he came up with the idea, and then we had, he sketched it all out, and then he told people what color to put in what panel. So we had paint by numbers, basically. And so that mural is painted by community members. So I don't remember if it was 25 or 30 that came out for your project, something like that. So, and that's the kind of thing we want to do with this as well, is to turn that into something where it's art that's decided on by the community, it's in the location, the community decides, and the community members are there to help to create the artwork. So that's where we're all running with that. So I'm just going to give a couple updates really quickly on the cultural district stuff.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Obviously, there's no dollar amounts associated with any of these, and we all know that everything's about prioritizing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're the most familiar probably in the room with how the grants work. Is there are there any areas of these types of projects that are more susceptible to getting grants than others?
So on the one hand, we will be talking about the Texas Commission on the Arts grants. The couple of things that they like to see best are the things that have lots of eyes on it. So anything we can do kind of downtown area or the Riverbend Park area, things like that, where there's a lot of people who are going to view the artwork. Other than that, there's a couple of things that there's several categories. And in fact, I have another sheet that'll tell you.
I'm just curious if you're going to end up with the top 10. It sounds like the top 10 goes to a survey, and so if it doesn't make the 10.
But that's different. There's two different funding pots we're looking at. So the top 10 already has $12,000 allocated.
Okay.
So that one, we just have to figure out once we get that top 10, and then we boil that down to the top 1 or 2 or 3 that we can afford, right? That's already got money associated with it.
12,000?
12,000. Yeah. And then, but the two grant projects, we're gonna go after a Texas Commission on the Arts Art Respond program and Texas Commission on the Arts Cultural District program. And those two, we have to kind of figure out what we're gonna talk about. We have one idea for, that has been already proposed and just hasn't found its time slot yet. And so I'm gonna just tell you about that when we get there. that far.
Those types of grants have broad,
Yes.
you know.
And those are matching funds, so we have to, if we get the project funded, we'll have to find the other half of the project money.
50/50, is that what you?
Right, and that's why we've got a cultural district, we've got a cultural district line in our budget for the city, and that's what, we try to get that through the cultural district line, and then also through sponsorships and,
Okay.
other people giving us money to make the project work. So, just wanna check really quick, did everybody have a chance to sign in? Andy, wanna make sure everybody signed in?
Has everybody signed in? Does anybody still need to sign in? Raise your hand.
Okay, we can pass that around, that'd be great, we would appreciate it. Okay, so, a couple of announcements. First of all, this is our 10-year anniversary of being a cultural district, so.
Coming up.
Yeah, so it's September 13th is our actual date of, like our cultural district's anniversary date, but we're trying to throw a whole bunch of stuff into this year to do some stuff. The first real, we did Actor Studio for Three Musketeers was the first really launching of that stuff. And if any of you are involved in arts-related stuff and you want to throw our cultural district 10-year, I should have brought that, I don't have it out with me, but we've got a new emblem that's a golden seal, like it's a takeoff on our original logo. We'll throw that on your flyers. We'd love to have you help to promote cultural district awareness with your projects as well, if you're willing to do that. And anything else coming up, we're gonna keep a calendar. Andy's gonna make sure that he has that on the city website. We did a second Actor Studio just last week with some play called Where's Bucky, which is in its last weekend, is coming up on Friday and Saturday, and come on out and see the show. It's a good show. Rachel can tell you, it's a pretty fantastic show. My husband directed it, so plug for that. Okay, the other announcement, we've got two more announcements. On May 20th, the Fat Cat Cafe is doing a prohibition party, and they are going to be, part of the proceeds of that party will be going to fund one of the Texas Commission on the Arts grant-funded programs. Our Songs of Smithville project, which was funded through TCA, we're looking for sponsorship dollars. Last month, Fat Cat did a fundraiser, and we raised about half as much as we needed. We're expecting that this coming May 20th, the Prohibition Party, that should raise the other half of what we need to make the match. They didn't give us the entire, they didn't give us the full amount of what the project cost was gonna be, so there will be another fundraiser, Smithville Brewing Company. I don't have a date on that yet, but that's probably sometime in June. And that should round out the entire project cost. So we're really grateful to Lori Huffman at Fat Cat Cafe for doing that project for us. And so if you can support that, or you know anybody who would be interested, there's reservations are required, and they're postering it all over the place. The last announcement that I have is Memorial Day at Veterans Park. One of the really special things going on this year at Memorial Day for Veterans Park is we've another grant-funded project. The Texas Commission on the Arts gave us some funding to be able to complete some sculptures over at the Memorial Park. And so they'll be unveiling, it's a battlefield cross that's going to be on the fountain. So it's going to be really beautiful. I've seen pictures of it. It's just pretty amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And so they'll be, during the regular, the wreaths, so, oh my gosh, I've done this how many years now?
Laying of the wreath.
10 years.
Yeah.
Laying of the wreath ceremony, they'll be also doing, they'll unveil that sculpture as well. So if you can come out for Memorial Day, that starts at 10 a.m., it'll be another good project program for everybody. But we're grateful to the partners of the Memorial Park for providing all of the stuff that's needed over at the park. They're really fantastic in helping us raise money for that project. Does anybody else have any art, culture related announcements to make? Do you want to talk about library?
I can. Coming up is our summer reading club, and we have lined up 4 different performing artists We will be doing those at the school in conjunction with the Summer ACE program, the After School Centers for Education. So those kids will get to see those shows, and then we have a finale lined up for Riverbend Park in mid-July, where we'll award the reading prizes for the kids that do participate, kids and adults, kids of all ages. And we're going to be working with the school district. If they have a kickoff for their summer lunch program, we may also join in that party and help them bring something, and then we can get people signed up and participating in the summer reading club. But the performing arts, that we've got a great lineup, and one of them is a local artist. Sarah Hickman will be leading off our programs this summer, so we're excited about that.
Does anybody else have any gallery activities you wanted to just announce?
There's some brewing, but I don't think we're ready to announce it. Thank you.
Mosaic, do you guys want to, do you have anything going on at Mosaic?
We can announce what we're doing.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, the main gallery is going to sponsor a mural about Smithville on the side of our building. It's really not about us, it's about Smithville. And we are trying to encourage that sort of urban art. So yeah, we're doing that. And that will be up by year's end, probably by November.
Fantastic, thank you.
Pending approval.
Yes, yeah.
Pending approval.
Perfect, thank you.
Jill, I can make an announcement.
Oh, Michael had it, yeah, go
So
ahead.
we're going to be having another Smithville Art Crawl. I don't know if anybody came to the one this last weekend, but we're going to be doing another one in a month on May 27th.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay.
So-
All right.
Another art crawl like the one we did last time.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Playhouse will be producing, as Jill said, there's a show that's closing this weekend called Where's Bucky? It's an original production. Jill's husband directed it. My husband is starring in it, so please come and see it. We also will be doing the Sweet Delilah Swim Club will be produced in May and June. We will then also be producing an original production by Will Holcomb, which will open in August. And then my husband just told me, and I just can't keep it in, I'm so excited to say, we're going to be doing Tommy and Spamalot before the end of the year, so I'm super jazzed about that. Yay, that'll be fun. There you go.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you all. and
Mary
thank
Nichols
you.
Art Center, art classes.
Oh, sure.
Pick up the new ones. Mary Nichols Art Center just posted their May schedule for art classes. It's on their website. You can book the class that way, or if you look at their online, at their website, they've got it there.
And it's adults and kids.
Yes.
Yeah. They've got a good program going. Okay. Okay, so, real quick, I just wanted to give you an update on our ongoing program. Our youth banners have been completed. We're going to be, because of miscellaneous delays and things, we're going to be installing the new banners on MLK at the summer, like after school lets out, to give the previous banners enough time to be out there with the kids. But that's going really well. We had really good sponsorship for that. We're really grateful for that. We're going to be doing Color Me Smithville Coloring Book again. So we'll be probably sending a call out to ask for donations for that. Again, that goes to the entire third grade, and it's a historic Smithville coloring book. So it's a lot of fun to see the kids doing that. We've got the Sculptures on Main program coming up. So we'll be changing out the sculptures again in November time again, sometime just before Thanksgiving, getting that up and running. Again, Judy already mentioned the summer reading program. Let's see, Playhouse Smithville, where we talked about that a little bit. I did want to mention the Artist of the Year. It's been postponed. We're probably going to be doing the awards of the artists during the Smithville Community Gardens. Will be the Lost Pines Artisans Alliance and Cultural District will partner with the Smithville Community Gardens to do to hand out the awards during their fall what do you call it?
Banquet.
Judy?
Gala.
Banquet, whatever, or
Banquet,
dinner.
yeah.
Garden dinner, so that'll be coming up then. I do have forms, the dates say January because we had a whole different idea in mind when we first did this, but so if you wanted to nominate an artist or a patron of the year, You can just pick up a form and I'll be happy to pass that out at the end of the program. We are still looking for a mural policy and procedure. We're looking for a subcommittee to help us with that. If anybody's interested in talking about murals, okay, we'll talk later. Please know though, if anybody else is interested too, and if anybody in the viewing audience is interested. Okay, great, perfect. Andy, do you wanna? And then Andy was looking into the possibility of doing a newsletter and new artist spotlight, and I don't think we're quite ready to. Yeah, we're not quite there yet, but anyway, that was kind of it. So, anything? Yes. Yeah.
One question,
Yes.
and I don't want to sidetrack. What is the Sculptures on Main program?
So we've got those 5 bases on Main. You'll see on every
Yes.
corner that doesn't have a wayfinding sign, there's a sculpture.
Yeah.
So we change that out every year. It's a cultural district project that we've traditionally, it's been a partnership with Keep Smithville Beautiful. It's about a $2,250 plus plaques expenses, so it just depends on. So we'll put a call out to sculptors and ask them to send us they'll be on display for the better part of the year, just, changing out in November, so there's a little bit of lag time between October and November when there may not be a sculpture there. But pretty much it's there. We do a call out to the whole state of Texas. There's a Texas Sculptors Association and a couple other places. We ask for an entry fee, and that's a jury project. We give the sculptors that get in our 5 spaces, we give them a small stipend, and then we give them the opportunity to have a prize. We do this past year, we didn't quite do it that way. I'll tell you later, but it's a long story. I don't want to get too much into it because I want to get to this. But yeah, but it's just a way of having a gallery on Main Street. It's a continually changing, an annually changing gallery space on Main Street, and so I'd be happy to talk with you more about it
Sure,
afterwards.
sounds good.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to give you a real quick update on the grants that we've received. So right now, I did mention already the Songs of Smithville. So that's all going quite well. They're doing really. I think they've already gotten 15 or maybe all of their artists. It's a recording project. If you think about it, like they're looking at all of the musicians in the Smithville area and saying, Smithville has its own sound. They want to make this into an annual thing. I'm not sure that we're ready for that, or we'll see how this works out. But at least this way they're capturing 15 to 20 artists. They're going to put them on a CD. I think they figured out something about electronically internet related. I don't know how they're going to do that.
And the grant helped afford recording studio capability so that they can record these. So it's something that even if we don't have enough artists in following years, we'll always have that recording studio capacity.
Yeah, and that's the recording space the studio space is at the Mary Nichols Art Center on the 2nd floor. And so you have to book it. It's not just open to the public. You have to be allowed to get in because it's a lot of equipment. It's very expensive and like breakable. But that's certainly something that as a musical community we wanted to. When Will Holcomb and Gino Gottschall came together with this project and we got funded for it, it seemed like a really great opportunity for Smithville.
And it included, part of the grant was interacting with kids in the high school, junior high bands. So both the musicians have met with the kids in band and talked about what it means to pursue a future in music and things like that. So
yeah, so it's been pretty fun. And we were able to give each of the musicians that are recorded in this, they get a small stipend for their song that they're getting recorded. And they're going to get all the credit and the hoopla that comes out at the end of the whole shebang. And I'm not a music producer, so please don't ask me to give you the details. I'm really leaving that to Gino and Will to figure that stuff out. April can also talk to you maybe about the theater in the park, because we did get funded through TCA for that.
Oh, sure. So we've done, the Playhouse has produced a play in the park before COVID, I guess. So we didn't do it again since then. We did Wizard of Oz, which was fantastic. It's a free play in the park. It was packed. Lots of people came to it. So we agreed to do it again. This year we are going to do Peter Pan this year in the park. So it'll be a lot of fun, a lot of kids, a lot of fun, a neat show in the park.
Do you know the dates on it yet?
No, I
Okay.
think it's June.
That's- yeah, that's right.
Put me on the spot.
Okay, sorry.
Are you talking River Bend Park?
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah, and now we've got that brand new pavilion. Woohoo, what a beautiful pavilion,
He's gonna
right?
build like a ship around the gazebo and turn it into a pirate ship, and it's gonna be
Oh,
pretty
wow.
cool. It's gonna be all free, totally free for anybody to come see it.
And then I did mention also the TCA grant for the Veterans Park, so I think I've already given you an update on that. and I'm not gonna go over it. Oh my gosh, I
For
don't.
which thing?
For the Veterans Program, you know, the
I know.
partners did that, Billy Culberson, I should have written it down, I did, I'm sorry, I can get that information to you later. I'll try to text him while you guys are working, and then see if I can come back with it. He's not, the sculptor was not local though, it was not in his area. Yeah, but they took care of all that stuff and found it, so. Okay, so, okay, that's, unless there's other questions or comments on that, anything about that? Okay, so, we're gonna get into the arts bridging community, I hope we have plenty of time. So, I talked a little bit about the process, we had those smaller groups, now we're in a bigger group, and from this bigger group, we're gonna have a survey that'll go out to the public. What we wanted you to do now is, if you wanna just, if you had a chance to, we'll give you 5 minutes or so, look at the, maybe 7 or 10, depending on how, fast people get up and sit down. But look at those lists, see if anything on that list is something that you want to add to any of these lists. We're just trying to get them in categories so that we can kind of just make it a little bit easier on ourselves. Yes, no, that's not ready for that yet.
Okay, but it's 6 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock, okay, so we have about half an hour, so that should be good. Good. And just go ahead and you can either write directly on the thing or write on a sticky note and then put your sticky notes up. So we'll give you, I'm gonna set timer for about 5 minutes and we'll see where y'all are at by then. If you want to use the project list that you have on that list, go ahead and use that list. If you want to put something brand new up there, go ahead and put something brand new up there. But like, mark it with a star so that we can talk about that a little bit if you have an idea for something new.
What did you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Sure, sorry. So if you can use these sticky notes to make ideas, put them up there. You can either use that list if you like one of the, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of the ideas, put them up. If you have an original idea that's not on that list, go ahead and write that down and put that up. Just put an asterisk. Make it so that I know that it's brand new so that I can talk about it a little bit more. Add it to the list. Thank you all very much. Okay, so time.
You want me to set a timer?
I'm just doing it now.
Where's the list? I'm not sure. There's one. We didn't get one, so, but there's one.
I gave mine to Fred, I gave one to Sharon.
Just,
Would you
I
give me-
have one more copy if somebody needs a list.
No, you don't get it. Yes?
I don't know, that's what they said.
I'm sorry.
That's, we wrote down what they said, and so it's just very open-ended as far as, yeah. Am I over?
That's bad, I have to pick from this list. I can pick from this list too. Okay, all right, good, because there's good stuff on this.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, good. I wasn't sure if it was only the ideas.
Right, and there may be some overlap. The ideas.
Janice brought that up. There was like a, I can't remember exactly what she said. They do it in Ireland?
What's entry?
Who would do it? These are the ideas. And so what'll happen is we'll figure out we'll get the top 10 from here, we'll get the top several from the survey, prioritize there.
I didn't do that, I didn't
And then it just depends, so if you're gonna do it right now. If it's the Argami, then I'll talk to the Argami and see if they want to do it. If it's like banners on the entryway, then I'll talk to how we're gonna do that, whatever that is. So I mean, it just depends.
Yeah, but it's so cool because it's amazing. And I didn't want to do it this time.
And what's that?
Oh, we were talking about yarn.
I know, I see many references to it, I said, I hope her fingers are ready.
I'm not sure you participated. Yeah, later.
Wouldn't that be cool? Isn't that great? I love that idea. Yeah.
They do the
Yes, exactly. I love that. Or is it It would be very cool.
Okay, what's over on the park?
It's at the end of Main Street where the
Near Michelle's house.
Don't see it here. You can do something.
Do you have here? Write down some things. You can do this too.
South by Smithville.
So there's a, yeah, I think so. That's what it sounds, that's what it looks like.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Is that the name of
Okay, I
the
couldn't
retail?
turn this thing.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's a really big name that keeps like that.
You was a Smithville guy?
I wonder if it's gold.
Yes. Where is it? That's the.
Well, I thought so, I just made her name.
Did you say a troll?
Did you see Jim put the troll in here? She came up with this really cool idea to have a troll underneath the bridge. It's like a giant troll rolling up the bridge. It's really neat. We were on this one.
Oh, look out, April.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That would be the entry, I would think, the entry on the entrance to, or maybe it would be a mural. There's a
Something that related to that.
sign in the middle there for murals,
South by Smithville.
but city limits. That might be the entry. Jill will know for sure. Would this be entry?
I know that is. Yes.
Where you
Okay, all
Thank
Like
you.
we did with the bicycles, where we put the QR code and that.
I'm going with it. Oh,
And if there's something that you see
Yeah.
that is not quite what you expected, if you want to change the wording a little bit, you're, oh, okay. Right, right.
A compass?
We don't have main street.
And you go find,
Wasn't that an entry?
No, I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tom knows what's going on. I wouldn't-
Yeah. You were talking about the blind, following blind, here's the big stuff.
There you go. It is, that would be cool. That would be,
I'm struggling with this a lot because
that would be above.
So instead of drilling it down,
like glass.
yeah, absolutely.
Crochet, like anything. You could go and take classes.
Yeah, our project, yeah, that's what we have on. Okay, if you got, how about 2 more minutes? 2 more minutes to get your stuff up.
Okay, there's, you were trying the Main Street stuff was showing up culture, and the culture one is just.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if everybody knows that culture is laying out, it's not on the wall. So you might want to,
Yeah, there's some of them.
there's gonna be some in 2 places.
Some things around, yeah.
Yeah, it's not in phase 2.
Yeah.
Not in the second phase. It's gonna be moving. Right.
I did actually add the journal.
It's kind of obvious.
I like to think that I have visual language.
It was very recognized. What else?
I think I was here for that, yeah. There's some on the TV. We only had, we only get that. Well, then I guess.
Voted with all those sticky pads.
Is that Parker Main? Or Saturday?
Got an order for 7. Let me just tell you, if we come later. Yeah, I was supposed to be there.
Kind of all over the place.
Hey, how we doing? We getting close?
Como 2 más minutos, about 2 more minutes. About 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes, okay.
Como 2 más minutos, por favor. About 2 more minutes, please.
But Joe, I don't see a Main Street anymore.
Where did the Main Street go? I don't know.
It's
Big
the,
one?
most of them are up there on C Street. Yeah, most of them are culture. I put it on culture.
Mine's Main Street.
Do you want to make another thing saying Main Street? Jenny, I'm gonna have her make another one saying Main Street.
I've got one more.
Okay, it could be anything, but I think it's Main Street.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And these are kind of others that the Main Street now.
So then the idea would be that it could be any, the folks on Main Street that falls into that category.
Because if it's, would it be, the art festival might be a festival.
Now, this is the one I want to do, street dance on Main.
Yeah.
Understand, I know better than you. And it's not that that's happening.
You added a which
I can move some around. I know, yeah. That's what I'm
Because it
thinking.
is, it's kind of hard because it's a trail, a walking trail.
It's better.
Well, there's a nature.
It's not a good deal because there's so many things that are happening. I'm gonna move these two over here since I'm saying.